Hey, do you want to see a grown man cry? Well, come to my house while I read Foster by Claire Keegan. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. This absolutely blew me away. Um, Before I even get into it, just go buy it. Just pick this up. Look how small this is. I think it's 90 something, just 90 pages or something like that. Maybe 90 pages. And it's a small book. So, I mean, I finished this in like, I don't know, an hour and a half, maybe, if that. It's incredible. I had already read Small Things Like These, also by Claire Keegan. And then I read Foster this morning, and now I'm immediately going to go read So Late in the Day by her as well, just because Foster was so great. Small Things Like These, I really, really enjoyed. If you haven't read it, there's something that happens at the end, and there's sort of this group of people that I think you have to know who they are to really get what happens. And I didn't really know who they were. And so it didn't really hit as hard with me the first time I read it. Now I kind of know, I know about it. Now I want to go back and read it again. But I really still enjoyed it. And this was even better for me. Her writing is just so incredible. It's so simple. And look, I hate the word prose. I just think that's so pretentious. But for lack of a less pretentious word, her prose is beautiful. It's simple writing. It's simple and clear and to the point. It packs a lot of punch. It's so good. If you don't know anything about it, I'll give you a little bit of a spoiler-free version up front, and then I want to talk about it, so I'm gonna talk about it at the end. But I'll let you know before I get to that point. Basically, a young girl. I don't think we really know her age, but she's a little girl, and I have a 5-year-old daughter, and so in my head I pictured her, and so maybe it's probably one of the reasons why I love this book so much. And so, but I don't think we really know, know how old she is. But a young girl, and her parents are not in the best financial situation. There's also definitely some other things going on. Her dad seems to have a drinking problem and a gambling problem, and they have a bunch of kids, and they have another kid on the way. And her mom is about to give birth soon. So basically, they send one of their many children, this daughter, to to go stay with some sort of pseudo foster parents, right? And she gets to go live a summer with these people, and she gets to live the life that she should have had all along, right? She gets to go live a beautiful summer. But there's also some things going on with the parents, things that they're having to deal with emotionally while she's there. So I won't say any more than that. From here on out, there'll be some spoilers. But yeah, I've got a little girl, and so this hit really hard for me. One, you've got to be in a really bad way to send your own kid away. And that dad should have been better and should have got a hold of his alcoholism and got a hold of his gambling problems. And it's really funny because I am celebrating 4 years sober from alcohol today. And I just happened to pick this up and read this today, where the dad has alcohol issues. So I'm glad I don't live that life anymore. And I'm thankful for that. But anyway, so they send her off, and she goes and stay. I thought that it was maybe the mom's sister. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I read that. I read into that. I don't know. It's either just some people they know, or the mom's sister. I can't remember which. But anyway, and she sort of goes there and is sort of awkward at first, like, okay, you guys are going to make me do a bunch of chores, and you guys aren't going to treat me really well, right? Because that's kind of what she's used to from her family and her dad. And but they're like, no, let's live a good life here. Let's have a fun time. And she does help them with chores and things like that, but it's not any back-breaking work or anything. And she, over time, just forms this really great bond with the woman, the wife, and then also this amazing relationship with the dad, or excuse me, the the husband, the man that they're living with. They're married, and they're a beautiful couple, and they treat her well. She helps around the house. She does all these things. She gets to live this beautiful life. And I didn't pick up on it either. She said she was staying in this room that had like trains on, like the wallpaper was like trains or something, and it had a little boy waving. And I didn't even put two and two together. I think I was just so engrossed in the story. I was just reading. And then later it's revealed that this couple had a little boy some time ago, and he died. I think he fell into the well, or some version of something like that. And so they had lost a child, and so they were very happy to have her, which we don't know at first. We can see them, treating her well, but we don't really know why. And I think this was sort of like a do-over for them, and they got to, relive that life a little bit and got to try again. And they dote on her, and they kind of spoil her a little bit, which any person would do, I think, if you've been in that situation. And she just grows to love it there, and they grow to love her. And then eventually it's time to go home, and she has to go home, and she doesn't want to be there. And at the end, when she is running down the lane to go hug the man, and eventually says that she calls him dad, and it's just so touching. It was so beautiful. I had to read the last paragraph like 4 or 5 times to make sure I was reading what I was reading was correct. But God, so good. It's just a heart-wrenching story. And again, I think today of all days for me to pick this up, I don't know, something must be going on outside of my control maybe. But so good. I ended up giving this. I gave Small Things Like These. I think I rated this I gave this 4 stars last year. Which again, for me, if you don't know how I kind of rate things, I rate things on I'm very picky. So for it to be a 5-star book, it has to be perfect, as in 5 out of 5, right? It has to be. I wouldn't make any changes. Don't change a word. This is great. So Small Things Like These was a 4. That means it's a really good book. It means I will definitely read it again. I gave this a 5 immediately. This is only the second book I've given 5 stars to this year in 2026. Last year, I only gave 1 5-star book. And so this ended up being my second 5-star book for this year. There are some difficult things about reading it, especially at the beginning. If you're not used to her writing, this is in Ireland. And so there are some places and some terms, for things and just little sayings that they have that I don't understand. But that doesn't take away from it being 5 stars. I wouldn't change it. She's putting me in this place with these people, how they live, how they talk. That doesn't mean I would change it. It just means at first you may have to kind of get used to it. But once you do, it's beautiful. Like I said, I'd read Small Things Like These. I finished this today, and then I'd already had this one on the back burner. I'm just going to pick this one up right now as soon as I get off of here and start reading this. So I pick up any or all of her books. I think they're all, the 2 that I've read have been great. I can't imagine that they just fall off a cliff. But so great. Do yourself a favor. Spend an hour and read this book, especially if you're someone who doesn't like to read, or you think you don't like to read. You don't want to pick up a 500-page book. Don't start reading by picking up a 500-page book. Start with something like this. It's short. You'll get through it. Also, again, shameless plug, go to josephcastleman.com. I post my short stories there. You can read some of those and follow along there if you'd like. Okay, that's it. This book was awesome. See ya.